Hello everybody, welcome back to the show. Today we're going to go over the top 5 best 4th of July films. I love this holiday. It's such a great day to celebrate our Independence Day. Where have I heard that before? I know it's been a minute since you saw me, but I'm back. Because I feel like you guys should get some good ideas for some films on this holiday. Now mind you, I'm not going over just, based on true stories or all war movies. I feel like war movies should be their own separate thread of top 5 war movies. These are just really good films when you're cooking, barbecuing those hot dogs, hamburgers, throwing back a couple beers, to watch some of these. Like if you have them on in the background or if you just get invested and you dive right in. Like these are ridiculously good films to watch on this holiday. So, let's dive in.
As we get ready for the 4th of July, why not take a look at the top 5 must-watch 4th of July films? These movies are great, especially when having some beers and BBQ. So crack open a cold one, get that cheeseburger, and hang out with me. Number 5.
National Treasure. What better way to celebrate our Independence Day than watch a film about Nicolas Cage stealing the Declaration of Independence? I can't think of any other. This movie's like a modern day Indiana Jones or like a Nathan Drake for all you that play video games, which should be a lot of you. And I watched this movie recently and it still holds up. It's a fun action adventure with a little bit of love story, and I just love Nicolas Cage. It's about his character. He comes from a long line of family that are here to watch his treasure, and no one believes him because all that national everything's locked up in museums and stuff. So he has to try to convince people that the Declaration of Independence is under attack. Someone's going to try to steal it to try to get the treasure map right on the back of it. And the crazy part is, it even has Sean Bean from Game of Thrones, and he plays a role that he's not usually accustomed to playing. Someone that survives at the end of it. So I think it's pretty cool seeing him in there. So it's basically a cat and mouse game. Everyone's going after this treasure, trying to go find out all the clues. And what I like about it is all about American history. So I feel like why not celebrate American history by watching this pretty wild film about a treasure map that's on the back of American history. Give it a shot. I think you're gonna like it.
Number 4.
Saving Private Ryan. Steven Spielberg is honestly my all-time favorite director. I feel like when I was in film school, they had a whole section just dedicated to Steven Spielberg and his directing style. Hit after hit, you just name it. Jurassic Park, Schindler's List, Jaws. He has so many good films. Indiana Jones, mentioned before. This one is no different. And Tom Hanks just kills it. Tom Hanks and him both teaming up, I think that's unfair for everyone else who made a film that year. Good luck trying to win anything. It's a hit. The story's about some brothers get killed in war, and there's only one brother that's still alive, and they're trying to go tell the mom that 3 of her sons are dead. So they have to send a team to try to get the last son, so they at least have some good news. And Tom Hanks and his troops go in, and it's just first off, the scene where they just land on D-Day is one of the most jaw-dropping scenes I've ever seen in my life. I mean, just watch it just for that. That scene was epic. But then just diving into the characters and just growing with the characters after this long adventure, it's honestly, it really makes you kind of put into perspective of what this holiday is all about, and to really cherish your freedom. These guys, a lot of people died on, in honor of it. So to them, I salute them. Thank you. And honestly, just check this film out. I think you're gonna love it.
Number 3.
The Patriot. This one had to be on this list. I feel like there's not that many films that about the Declaration of Independence that actually take time in that time era. This one's actually around the whole signing the Declaration of Independence, our war with Britain. There's really not that many films. Most of the action films, the war films, are all World War II and stuff like that. This one's one of the only ones that is in that time era, which I think is pretty cool. And it also has Mel Gibson and Heath Ledger, rest in peace. This film is epic. Mel Gibson plays a character where he just wants to stay out of war, he just wants to be neutral, and he doesn't want to go to war with, the British. Mel Gibson is just trying to raise his family, and he doesn't want to go to war with England. he just would rather stay out just because it's going to be fought on our territory. And I feel like that's like one of the coolest lines in the story is like, this battle is not going to be fought on a far distant land. It's going to be fought here with us. So I thought that was a really good take on it and everything. And then Heath Ledger playing his son that really is gung-ho and he wants to go to war because he knows how big, you know, America's freedom is. Honestly, the acting is on another level, and I feel like this film is a must. The wardrobe, acting, action scenes, everything on this like was perfect. And at the end of the day, it's just a father trying to protect his family. He's trying to protect his sons. Stories like that, like where it just, you know, touches on human nature, I think it's amazing. And first off, like the bad guy in this, he plays like one of the coolest bad guys ever. Like I feel like, I remember when I was learning about screenwriting in my screenwriting class, the teacher always said, your hero is only as good as the villain. Like the villain has to be on another level. I feel like a lot of New Age movies, they don't have that. They make the villain really weak. Like in the new Star Wars, the main guy got beat 2 seconds when this girl just picked up her lightsaber. You kind of lose interest. You're like, oh, I guess, whatever. The old movies, I feel like, really had that locked down. Darth Vader was way more powerful and like he chopped off Luke Skywalker's hand. How could you even compare like these two? This one, the villain in this one is amazing. Like I don't even want to ruin anything or some of the stuff he does in the movie, just in case if you haven't seen it. But it's kind of weird if you haven't seen it. It's been out for a while. But yeah, those two play off each other well, and it's just epic. The weird part is, for a while, I had the Patriot at number 4 and Saving Private Ryan at number 3. But I just, the more I think about it, the more you kind of go back and forth, and then if you watch it again, I really think this one should be at number 3. I mean, first off, these are the top 5 of just everything. Like it's not a bad film on this list, I'd say.
Number 2.
The first blockbuster ever made. This film actually, in 78 days in being in theaters, already surpassed The Godfather as like the highest grossing North American film, which to me is wild. And it was just the director's, 26-year-old director's second film. So that's epic. Of course, what I'm talking about, Jaws, directed by Steven Spielberg, who is also on this list again. Jaws to me is the most, it's not a war movie by any means. I mean, there's a war between a man and a shark. It's not like a war going to save your country type thing. But this is honestly a staple for me. I watch it every single year. And especially around the 4th of July, it's just a great film to watch. Roy Scheider does amazing. And he actually looks terrified of being in the water. And if you look at all the stuff that went into making this movie, that the shark kept breaking down, and they were like, how do we even show the shark if we can't get the shark to work? To John Williams coming up with the coolest score ever. Well, he's one of the greatest, you know, scorers ever, I think, in our generation. To make this awesome sound, like this sound for the shark, that they just played the music, and even if you didn't see the shark, you knew the shark was in the water. I thought that was pretty powerful. Great film, beautifully shot. Takes place on like Amity Island, and it's definitely it needs the beaches to be open. It's like really needs tourists to come in and actually go to the beach. So when our deputy actually sees that there's a big shark attack and someone actually died, he's trying to close the beach because, of course, why not just keep the people's safety in the forefront? But the merit is like, we cannot close this. This is beach season. It's the 4th of July. We're going to keep this beach open. You just hush your mouth. And it just leads to an awesome dynamic where they actually have to jump in a boat and go into the water, and that's like his like biggest nightmare, just to try to go kill a shark. It's off of a novel, and I think Steven Spielberg does an amazing job at directing it. And it still holds up. I remember watching it in theaters, and like when they had it like that one day that you see it in theaters. And I actually jumped at a couple scenes because it was pretty cool seeing it. I feel like everyone needs to at least see this at least once in their life.
Number 1.
The number 1 film that you should watch for Independence Day is Top Gun Maverick. I feel like that movie screams America. It's like a Rocky movie. It keeps you at the edge of your seat. It's nail biting. The visuals are amazing. Tom Cruise and everyone like shooting in planes with high definition cameras. You really feel for the characters, and Another thing I like about this movie is that it treats its legacy characters with respect. Recently, we've seen a lot of legacy characters get destroyed, kind of like everyone in Star Wars. Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, everyone just kind of gets punched in the face, like it feels like kick dirt on. Don't even get me started with that abomination Indiana Jones. This one actually did it right. Someone said, hey, you know what, we're actually going to write a movie for, the audience. And it works perfectly. Tom Cruise, nails it. Val Kilmer nails it. I feel like they actually do a good job at actually treating them with respect, and it engages the audience. And another thing, I don't want to give too much away, but what I love about the movie is when you think it's gonna end, and just crazy thing does happen, and you're like, oh my god, that's crazy, this just happened. I guess, pack up throw out the popcorn and let's go. Then another scene just picks up, and it's like, no, we're still here for a long ride. And they do such a good job. The writing in this one is perfect. And I feel like, honestly, if you had a couple beers and you just, having a nice barbecue and just kind of kicking back, this is a film that you really do want to watch and just be like, salute the American flag at the same time. This film is great. I feel like, honestly, number one, Top Gun Maverick. So that's my list. What is your list? Put it down in the comments. And then we'll just, chit-chat about that. I love the top 5. For a while I had Independence Day, but then I feel like, everything kind of ages, and there a lot of new movies come out that you're like, I like this one a little bit better, so you have to take some stuff off. And there's other ones on the that I feel like could have been easily on this list. So yeah, in the comments, let me know what's your favorites, and let me know which ones you've seen out of this whole list, or how do you rearrange it. Which one's your number one? So in the meantime, cheers and have a happy 4th. Oh, you're still here.